I'm about ready to close this file out, but I want to make sure that it will fit on the 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. A quick way of checking is to go back to the plot command. I'm going to plot device and I'm going to select my printer. And then I go back to plot settings and I can see that the printable area is 10.38 inches by 7.94. Let me cancel out of this, and what I'll do is a distance check, and I'll go from one endpoint to the other here, and along my X I'm at 8 inches and I need to be less than that. Along the Y I'm at 10 inches and I could actually be a little bit more than that. So what I want to introduce to you now is the stretch command. That's this one here. Since I've already created my border, there's no sense in exploding it and extending lines. I'm going to use the stretch command to change the dimensions from 8 inches, and I'm going to bring it in 1/4 inch. That should make it 7.75. So I'm going to select stretch. Now it indicates select objects to stretch by crossing window or crossing polygon. In other words, if I select an implied window, it's not going to work. It needs to be an implied crossing window. But sometimes it's not possible to select from one direction to the other. So my rule of thumb here is to always type C at the command line. That's going to force a crossing window no matter what direction you go in. So type C and enter, and then specify the first corner. What we want to do is we want to select the endpoints of the lines that we need to stretch. So I'm going to pick out here. I'm going to stretch, and by the way, as you can see, any direction I go, it's a crossing window. So I'm going to pick up here. Now that I am through selecting objects, I enter. Specifying a base point, I'll pick the midpoint here, that's fine. Selecting here, and I want to bring it in. How much? Well, we only have 7.94 inches, and I am at 8, so I'm going to bring it in 0.25 inches. Typing 0.25 and enter. And on the top, let's repeat that stretch command, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So once again, stretch, select the objects, and I'm going to type C and enter, specifying the first corner and specifying the second corner. Now I enter, base point here, and I need to take that up. Ortho is not on. The last time the O track was helping me to draw it straight. So now I can actually go up 1/4 inch, so I'm going to type 0.25 and enter. And that is the stretch command. Now if you're anything like me, you want to make sure that this is still centered on there. And what I can do is select it and find that midpoint, and with my O track on, let it track to that point, and then it lines up. And now I'm okay. Zoom extents. And now I will be able to use this border for my drawing. You might say to yourself, the border is roughly 8 inches by 10 inches, and that floor plan is 9 feet by 10 feet. How is it going to be possible to place that plan inside of this border? And that's going to happen next. We are going to put our final drawing together.